Cześć, mówi do Was Domi i ciotka.
To o czym dzisiaj gadamy?
O byle czym.
No to zaczynamy! Cześć kochani, z tej strony ciotka. Dziś przychodzimy do Was z trochę taką inną formułą. Postanowiłyśmy od czasu do czasu robić wywiady z osobami, które żyją tutaj na Bliskim Wschodzie, żebyście posłuchały, co mają do powiedzenia, jakie stereotypy obalają na co dzień. Chciałabym, żeby to była taka odskocznia od naszego śmieszkowania, heheszkowania w internecie i chciałabym, żeby ta seria podcastów też dała Wam pewien wgląd w społeczeństwo, w to, jak młodzi ludzie tutaj myślą. Zobaczymy, co z tego wyjdzie. Zobaczymy. Jestem bardzo ciekawa. Od czasu do czasu właśnie będziemy razem z Dominiką przychodzić do Was z takim ciekawym gościem, niespodziewanym. Także nie przedłużając, zapraszam Was na wysłuchanie mojej rozmowy z dzisiejszym gościem. Okay, so hi Rita.
Hello, Joanna.
How are you, first of all?
I'm good, thank you. All is well. Hope the same at your end.
Of course, as usual. Rita is my friend. We still have to see each other in person, but I feel like we clicked very well.
Indeed.
From the get-go.
Yes, indeed.
I decided to introduce her to the Polish people out there because I feel like she's a very interesting woman to know. Also, I'd like to show you guys that there is a perspective that you have to know about women in here, and the best way to show it to you is through women who live here. So I've prepared a bunch of questions that Rita will answer today, hopefully. So shall we start?
Yes, of course. Anytime, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first question is, can you tell us a bit about your educational background and profession?
Of course. First, I studied software engineering, and I have a master's degree in IT project management, which I worked with for a couple of years, and then for personal reasons I shifted to other careers, mostly in freelancing jobs that has to do with business development, translation, training, teaching, and then I worked with an SME. That's a small to medium size company, which eventually led me to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so now I've been working for 4 years with Oasis 500, which is a pre-seed investor and an accelerator, which is called Oasis 500. I'm in the role of onboarding.
Mm-hmm. How cool is this? Really, it's a really rich portfolio, basically.
It's diverse, quite diverse.
Yeah.
I think that it can be a good thing. However, for the traditional method, maybe, and mostly in most corporates, it's not a good thing. However, it depends on the role, Joanna. I believe some positions are enriched by how much diverse experiences that you have, which not always work well with other positions.
Interesting. Yeah. Makes total sense. So tell me, okay, because you are so, let's say, well-spoken, and you're girl, it's amazing. Your story is really amazing. You came such a long way. And as a woman living in Jordan, is it difficult to be a woman here? Really, like
You know, Joanna, this question, I never asked myself in any internal monologue in my life such a question. Like, how do I feel as a woman living in Jordan? And maybe that's a good indicator. I just realized that it's a good indicator of it actually doesn't matter. Of course, I asked myself, how does it feel living in Jordan? But not as a woman living in Jordan, because in my case, and I believe if I think of most of the people in my circle, I don't think that they asked themselves how does it feel being a woman living in Jordan. I don't think gender really plays a role here in Jordan, especially like in our area or similar, bringing, let's say. So is it difficult to be a woman here? I think with my answer aforementioned, no, I don't think it's difficult to be a woman living in Jordan.
Yeah,
Because
I do agree.
I was never in a case or a scenario, or I went in a situation where I said, you know what, but if I was a man, that would be different.
Yeah, I do agree. It's more a question of like living in Jordan as a person rather than living in Jordan as a woman or a man, really. If I have to be honest, that's true, yeah. Is there anything, for example, in labor law that should be changed regarding women according to you?
Like in labor law, I believe that they came a long way taking in consideration the woman needs, like if she was a mother, for example, especially that they improved it lately, like maybe I'm not sure, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not only giving her a maternity leave, but also giving her like 2 hours or 1 hour a day. I'm sorry, I'm not a mom, so I'm not really accurate about that. But I know that there is an hour or 2 hours lady is given for breastfeeding, for example. So this is really cool. However, so the labor law itself, I don't think that I can suggest anything to improve it. However, I believe it's the implementation of it. For example, there is nothing in the law that says, for example, a woman, she should be taking less salary, for example, for some jobs. And actually, also, it's not like a case the business owners, they go with. Sometimes the woman gets more salary than a male job. It depends on the position itself. However, I really think that they might or should be considering some special cases. For example, if she was divorced or she was a single mom, or like if it was between male and female. And same goes for the taxes of the income tax. We have a differentiation between a single and married, no matter what, like she's a man or a woman. However, I believe they should consider also single woman, because if she's single, that doesn't mean that all her income is going to herself. Maybe she has responsibilities. Maybe if she is a widow also. So for women, I believe there should be more sensitive factors that locks in. And by the way, this brings me back, sorry, Ioana, for maybe how do I feel a woman living in Jordan? For me, it's not difficult. However, maybe I think for single moms, it might be kind of not difficult. It's much easier than before, but maybe the cultural mindset is still needs some working on.
I see, yeah, yes, I do agree. And are there any professions that are considered shameful for women to work in Jordan?
Like, not thinking, of course, about all the professions, but what came to my mind were two things. One was a driver. She's a driver, I'm so happy, like lately, 3 years ago, only with well-reputed companies like Kareem and Uber, we could see like there are 6 females who joined the team. And actually, I was fortunate to be like to ride with 2 of those girls, and I asked them about their experience. They're like, it's amazing. Even guys, they are respecting me even more and like salute her efforts. And so I think for this position, it's becoming like more welcomed. However, I think what is still shameful for women to work in Jordan, those in gas stations. I heard that like a couple of girls tried before, but now we don't see them anymore. So apparently it was a bad experience.
Okay, so now a tricky question. Because in many Western countries, people think that women in Jordan are oppressed. Do you agree with this statement?
Not at all, Yuvan. Like, it makes me even laugh when I hear this. Like, I know the media, not only in Jordan. I think that most of like people not living let's say in Jordan, to speak specifically in Jordan, they think that. But I really wish to ask them, like, did you ever see YouTube of like Jordanian influencers or any type of YouTube? Because YouTube gives you I don't mean the documentaries, you know. I mean, there you can see Jordanian YouTubers, and you really can see what you see is what you get. So oppression, what do we mean by oppression? We have no social or governmental or anything has to do with a girl not working. In terms of education, level of educated women are much more than male. So we have no restrictions on that, even socially. In work, you see in every family, there must be like 2 teachers at least, or nurses, or engineers, or doctors. So I feel oppressed. This is like a very old stage that I cannot even imagine. However, I mean, and they can vote and everything. So, you live in Western Amman and you see the girls and women. I mean, I don't think we relate in any way to the word oppression. However, of course, it has something to do also with the areas we live in, which I believe this has to do not only in Jordan and not in Arab countries. In every country, you have some areas or rural areas that are defined by the culture itself. So maybe there are still some traces of what we call oppression, but it has to do with, I don't believe it has to do with work. Maybe it has to do something with how much she has a say in the decisions. Also, for example, we have here a Bedouin culture at some areas. You have no idea how like the woman, she has a say in some cases that is more like valued than the male, and she's like considered, they call it the pillar of the house.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, she has a value in some areas, and I mean, it depends on the family, it depends on the upbringing, and surely it depends on the area itself.
That's the thing. Western media try to portray or try to generalize, let's say, yeah? But it really depends on so many stuff, really, if you start to think about it, right?
Of course. Like, I usually when I think what the Western world think of Arab countries, let's say, I think that they imagine veiled ladies from head to toe, like covering their faces, and which is true for some individuals, but this doesn't mean oppression, by the way, because it's totally their decision. However, I believe that they think maybe camels, deserts, and
For sure.
I mean, come on, I'm talking to you here over Zoom. We're normal guys. We're doing a podcast. I'm at work. Normal. So I really wish that they come and visit, or at least like try to explore over, social media and internet. Nowadays, nothing is too far, so they can just see by themselves.
And what would you like to change in Jordan? Or like, is it this change that you're suggesting even possible?
Well, I believe like this question, of course, if I give myself time to think about, there will be a lot of things, but that has nothing to do with like how bad is it, but it depends on the personal journey and so what came up to my mind, like I really wish Jordan to make their health insurance umbrella like more wide, because I mean it's there. They are doing good work with it. I'm just thinking if they cannot make it like for free for every citizen. My concern are the elder people. Lately, they expanded the umbrella to include those above 60 years old, which is great, for a very, like, we call it's not really even a fee. It's very affordable. However, the problem is the quality of the public, let's say, health entities that is offered, even if they are included for the health insurance. Oh, definitely this needs work, because it's not like if they had this insurance, they will get the quality service or a timely service. So sometimes it's useless. And I believe for when such people, they reach such an age, they definitely deserve much more, dignified quality service. So this thing, is it possible? This is one infrastructure that is the Jordanian government currently even focusing on with the situation, the COVID situation, and we hope it gets better like in no time. Also, from what I see, and because I'm in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, definitely they need to work on much eased regulations for the startups. They started it, they are doing good. However, I think they need to expedite.
Okay, so jumping to totally different question. Do you think that colonialism in Jordan has any visible aftermath even till this day?
This is a good question, actually. And I'm gonna talk here again specifically in Jordan, because in other countries, other Arab countries, you might see much more visible traces. However, in Jordan, when you ask that, I believe that is very, very, very minimal. What I can see as traces is only what is the choice of the second language we have as English, which is, again, this you can see in any other country that has to do with that. So the educational system also. And from the Ottoman colonialism, I believe they still, like the governmental entities and a way of processing documents, this still have traces of it, like the Ottoman way with stamps and, now, and thanks to COVID, it also accelerated then this since everything now is transformed digitally. I believe it eased it up a little bit on the citizens.
But okay, so now let's talk a bit more about this, because I've noticed, like, let's say several times, that there is this mindset within Jordanian society that, like, when let's say they go to buy something, and when they see that, I don't know, they want to buy, I don't know, a can of tomato that is Jordanian and a can of tomato that is German or American or British, they will go for the the other, not the Jordanian, not the domestic product, because they feel like they want to buy the quality. So that's why I asked this specific question, because I feel like there is this like stigma still happening that people don't believe in the domestic market, domestic companies producing stuff.
Interesting. Yes, I absolutely agree. We still have this stigma, and it was like even worse 15 years ago. You're right. We always tend, like, we have this lack of trust towards the Jordanian thing, unfortunately, because standardizing the quality and procedures that guarantees quality was really missing here in Jordan. And also, even the Jordanian business owners, even if they are producing something, sometimes they have to link it to some foreign either strategy or brand or I also believe the Jordanian business owners, they carry some responsibility regarding this, because they are not also spreading the right awareness or the right messaging or good branding to the Jordanian market. But lately, especially like 5 years to come, especially with the youth growing up and having their own businesses, they have new blood and thinking to that. I really see people shifting slowly to the Jordanian product, but it depends what type of it. I mean, if it's a handmade thing, or it has to do with the culture, or even some products that has to do with fruits and vegetables, oh yeah, definitely they'll go for the Jordanian product. However, if we are talking about machinery and appliances, definitely no, but we don't even see such businesses opening.
But there is a change. You're saying this yourself. And how Jordan has changed since, let's say, 2010. Can you see any changes at all?
Booming in the businesses, not regular tradition employment. There is a lot of people are tending to open their own businesses. Also, there was like a booming in the food and beverage industry. Also telecommunication, social media. I mean, the talents that we see, this I believe, like also talents, writing, competitions. I also believe that the education level became so much diversified, and we see amazing, capable brains of students. Like there is something, Joanna, I don't know, I'm sure that you know already. Unfortunately, and this has to do with the industry itself, Jordan is known as like, it's a country that lacks natural resources, okay? Like no water, no oil. There is a saying that the late King Hussein said, and it's very true, that the human being is the most precious thing, an asset that we have. And it's very true. If you look at the Gulf countries, or other even in Germany, UK, America, you will see a lot of immigrants, engineers and doctors and scientists, which is very sad. However, it shows great indicator of how much potential such individuals they have. The sad fact is that such potential cannot be locked in Jordan in terms of, let's say, salaries. That's a problem. Mm-hmm. So they are forced to live outside. However, those people are the same people who are working in companies like Ford, Mercedes, and those machinery and appliances, things that cannot be manufactured here, let's say, and known for its good quality brand.
Now, what would you like to tell to Polish people about Jordan? Because, well, let's say Polish people, they are not very familiar with this country.
Of course, Jordan is one option of many other Arab countries that they can see. So I believe with globalization and social media, I really urge them just to explore around the internet just for fun and see how is it really Jordan. I mean, again, the media exported so many wrong things, and I promise them that they will be astonished with the other image that how we really live. It doesn't have to be like better than they imagine. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like, wow, astonishing, what a beautiful country. But I promise them that it's totally better than what they think. I mean, also they can hear, see Petra, see Jerash, such Ram, I mean, the mountains and, you know, that desert experience.
Yeah.
That is very nice. However, in the city life, I think that Jordan, among all other Arab countries, is just on the edge of the 50-50 country in terms of Western culture and Arab culture.
So we think in terms of the city, it blends well. Like you can see the Western influences and the Eastern influences.
Exactly, and they can see all the segments of the people. Like it's a very good, well mix between. I mean, we don't have stereotypes here.
Now, okay, so this was some like couple of stuff that you told the Polish audience. So now, a couple of words to the Jordanian audience, specifically to young aspiring girls living in Jordan. What would you like to tell them?
Well, young aspiring girls are so many here in Jordan, and it makes me smile. What I tell them is something I think that they already know, which is the sky is your limit. Just keep the passion that you have and be persistent. And I always say to them and any other young Jordanian, make use of the time till you are employed, let's say, because that's the time where they are putting hand on the talent that they have. But use it to learn more than studying. Like, just learn what you are passionate about.
That's a great advice. Okay, so like now, since we are almost finishing our podcast, I would like you to utter some words in Polish. How about that?
Okay, wish me luck. Yalla.
Okay, so to say bye is the same to say hi in Polish, which is cześć.
Cześć.
Yay! Bravo! Bravo عليكي! حلو كتير. Okay, thank you Rita again for joining me and talking a bit about Jordan and all the things Jordan. And I hope to see you soon in person, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Yuana.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.